Hey, how y'all doing? This is Mongo Slade, and we're now going to talk about AEW Dynamite's anniversary show on October the 10th, 2020. Uh, Too long, didn't listen. This show was a train wreck, and this is actually it's not the worst episode of Dynamite ever. It's not, but they have had shows that were not anniversary shows that were better than this. Let's put it like that. So let's get through this thing. FTR defended the tag team championships against Best Friends, and okay, it was a match. I really didn't care about anything that took place. I kind of I kind of knew Best Friends had no chance of winning. But what really made me throw up my hands and was when they plowed through the arcade. Uh, it was some type of trance, I believe it was, that would try to uh, tackle. He's playing, or they were playing two hand touch. I don't remember how they was playing this game that they were playing outside the ring. And they were outside the ring forever, by the way, because apparently there's no such thing as countouts in AEW or disqualifications. And their fans pride on this being sports based, but there are no rules. And then there's they Trent tried to tackle one of the FTR guys, and in doing so, he went through the arcade cabinet. This incredibly phony, looked like a 16-year-old put it together in his garage arcade cabinet. It just fell apart. This guy barely touched it. It just fell apart like a very poorly built china cabinet. And supposedly it was Kip Sabian and Miro's uh, cabinet, the video game cabinet. It got destroyed. And then the only thing that Trent sold in the whole fucking match was that he plowed through this arcade. I still managed to tag out, by the way. Ended up tagging out. It was, Trent actually sold the bump, which was fine. They used the FTR needed to use the belt, the actual gold title, which they wrapped around fucking Chucky's head, and pinned them for the win. After the Best Friends lose, Kip and Miro actually came out of nowhere to beat them up for destroying the video game, because that's a line too far, my dude. You broke, you busted up a video game, and if I remember correctly, and please, if I'm wrong, please feel free to tell me I'm wrong in the comment section. But I do believe that when they cut the promo before their match, they named the video game system Alan. And I think that Kip Sabian said that Alan was his best friend. And then they said they were going to really take care of and beat up Best Friends for this. And Miro was really mad. You break my shit. But this was after the match. They ended up having a squash match against Lee Johnson and Lil Oos Sean Maluda. I call him Lil Oos because he is a cousin of the Usos and Roman Reigns. He was actually on NXT. I don't see how they let him get away. I think he was also in Evolve. The match meant nothing. I didn't see a second of it. I just saw, the accolade or whatever they're calling it now. And the promo where Kip Sabian and Miro were very angry that Best Friends destroyed their video game outside the ring. That was very depressing. That's depressing, man. That's depressing. What is everything with Best Friends revolves around children and child shit. And look, as a kid who played arcades, I can understand an arcade with, if you're breaking a fucking arcade, you're a badass, because those things are big and heavy. That's how you know it's probably some bullshit put together arcade. But it was I can understand being frustrated by that, being frustrated because somebody broke your video game system, but why did you bring it to work? Why was it out in the crowd? Why was just seems silly. Seems really silly. And this is stupid. Okay, this is the horrible shit. Okay, this is what Miro left WWE to do. He wanted to get going. Look, I told you. I don't. Maybe this needs to be said, but AEW is just WCW Part 2. Part 3, really, because TNA was part WCW as well. Now, TNA was mostly LOL TNA, and it has some WCW elements to it, but AEW Dynamite is almost like 80% WCW. Nobody goes there to be taken seriously. Everybody who goes there just wants to make money and coast for as long as it lasts. They're just going to show up and make the money. Some of these guys don't even look like they go to the gym anymore. Okay, now Miro is still jacked, but he ain't been there that long. We'll see if in like 6 months he still looks the same way. Because he's been there about a month already, and he hasn't had a real feud yet. The only match he really had was with Sonny Kiss and fucking Joey Janela. Oh my goodness, it's bad. This is bad. This is really bad shit. Horrible shit. So Lance Archer attacked Jon Moxley backstage. It was one of the most mildest jump somebody from behinds I've ever seen. If you're going to do something like this, tell a story with it. Like, I like when WWE does these things, and other companies to do them too, where the guy wants to get an advantage going into the match, so he'll attack him from behind. My favorite of these, and this actually makes me more excited than NXT or AEW, to be honest, is that, I don't know if you guys remember, but Mark Mero versus Mr. Perfect was supposed to wrestle for the Intercontinental Championship. And they did an angle where Mr. Perfect got hit in the knee by like a running box. Like somebody had like a box and jammed it into Mr. Perfect's knee. And so Mr. Perfect wasn't going to be able to wrestle. Oh, it's supposed to be Mr. Perfect versus Triple H. I'm remembering it wrong. It was supposed to be Mr. Perfect versus Triple H, because Mr. Perfect and Triple H have been going back and forth. It was Hunter Hearst Helmsley, I should say. And in order to get, and somebody attacked Mr. Perfect in the back. He ran into his knee with a box. It was like a gigantic box, I don't know what it was in. It doesn't matter, like a crate. And so when the match time came up, Triple H wanted to fight Mr. Perfect. He thought, he had ran into him with this box. He's like, okay. And everybody assumed it was Triple H. And the doctors that told the story throughout the night that Mr. Perfect was not going to be able to perform because his knee had gotten destroyed. And so Triple H was like, okay, well, I win. I win by forfeit. And Perfect was, giving him the riot act because he's the babyface in this situation. And then Gorilla Monsoon comes out. Mark Mero shows up. Mark Mero is the Intercontinental Champion. And Mark Mero's like, I'll fight you. I'll fight you on his behalf. I'll fight you. And then Hunter Hearst Helmsley is like, no. I don't have no contract to fight with this guy. I don't want to fight him. I'm not going to fight him at all. But if he wants to fight me, he has to put the Intercontinental Championship on the line. And Mark Mero being the babyface, oh yeah, I'll take it. I'll beat you right now. And then Gorilla Monsoon, of course, he had to put himself over. You don't have the authority to do that. Only I can do that. And then he immediately made the match because they both wanted to do the match. And the reason Mark Mero came out is because Mark Mero and Mr. Perfect were aligned with each other. Because Mr. Perfect was sort of, he was trying to mentor Hunter Hearst Helmsley by stealing his women, and so he can focus on his matches. And Mr. Perfect was like, it was basically taking his women away to focus on his matches, because this was when Triple H had come down with all these different valets, and one of them was Sable, who ended up being with Mark Mero. And Mr. Perfect actually was friends with Mark Mero during this time. And so Mark Mero and Triple H have the match, and then Mr. Perfect turned heel and helped Triple H win the title. And then you could see like it was a ruse all along. And it all started because somebody attacked somebody from in the back. And there was nothing wrong with Mr. Perfect anyway. He just duped Mark Mero into putting the title in the line so that Triple H could win it. And it was supposed to be, I heard it was supposed to be a feud after that. It was going to be Hunter Hearst Helmsley and Mr. Perfect for the Intercontinental title. But Perfect ended up jumping ship to WCW immediately after that. That storyline was infinitely better than anything that took place on AEW Dynamite. And that was like a random Raw in like 96 or 97. Probably 96. And I remembered it because I've seen that match 100 times. I do not watch like Stone Cold Steve Austin matches 100 times, but I've watched that match a lot because I remember that angle. I remember when it happened. It was like, wow. Okay, so what was I? Where was I? Okay, Lance Archer very mildly jumped, got jumped backstage by Lance Archer. If you know Moxley is a tough character, you know that's not going to work, right? It doesn't really do anything to jump him behind. He's not bleeding, not injured, not nothing. So it doesn't matter. So then they had they showed the graphic for the fucking tournament, and oh my god. Let's go through this fucking tournament, dog. Let's see. This is their AEW World Title Tournament. The main event of which is going to be at Full Gear. See, so you have your brackets are going to be Pentagon and Phoenix. Brothers are going to fight each other. Both of them are heels. They're going to fight each other. Kenny Omega versus Joey Janela. That ought to put butts in the seats. Colt Cabana versus Adam Page. And Wardlow versus Jungle Boy. There are no stars in this tournament. None. Not even people that they've been putting some effort into. No Brody Lee, no Eddie Kingston, no Orange Cassidy, no Jericho, definitely no Cody. Nobody. Not even anybody they've been pushing on dark like Shawn Spears or Scorpio Sky or nothing. No, didn't put Dustin in the tournament. Didn't put Christopher Daniels in the tournament. No Kazarian. No. We got Joey Janela, Colt fucking Cabana, and Wardlow. Fuck you, AEW. This tournament is full of fucking bums. Now, I love Pentagon and Phoenix. Okay, they're amazing. They're awesome. They're going to probably have a badass match, but they're not positioned as contenders. They're not. This could be a big deal. Like if you really had built this up, they put some real effort behind Pentagon and Phoenix, this could have been great. This could have been amazing. But if you would have really put some effort behind it, they wouldn't be doing it on TV. That's the thing. They don't care about this match. Like they don't see Pentagon and Phoenix as stars, which is fucked up because Pentagon and Phoenix are bigger stars than fucking Joey Janela. They should be. Pentagon has worked main events everywhere. Not just AAA. He's worked main events every fucking where. The only reason Joey Janela has main events because he runs the fucking promotion. Like when they had AEW All Out, Pentagon was in one of the highest, most anticipated matches when he wrestled Kenny Omega. And now look at what they're doing with him. He's an underneath guy. Fuck you. Fuck you. Pentagon is... Fuck you, AEW. Phoenix is amazing. I mean, he's just been nothing but a joke in AEW. No wonder they don't put no effort into getting any better. Trying to learn how to do tag stuff or learn how to speak English or anything. Why should they? This is what you do with them. These guys are fucking stars, man. Colt Cabana. I mean, get the fuck out of here, Colt Cabana in it. So then they spent 10 minutes on this bullshit with MJF promo. And Sammy Guevara got his jacket, but it was apparently Ernie Ladd's jacket because it was super big on him. MJF was blowing a lot of smoke up Jericho's ass. Called them each other the biggest minute by minute draws. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't care. I think it's kind of corny that they're even talking about it. Any event, they did a lot of stalling, and it was really bad. This is really bad. It's probably the worst MJF promo I've ever heard. And MJF basically just wanted to join the Inner Circle. He finally swallowed his pride and asked to join the Inner Circle. And then, interestingly enough, and this is interesting. This is the only interesting part. Sammy Guevara was mad about the jacket. He already doesn't like MJF. So, but it was Ortiz who took the microphone from MJF and basically said, "No, we don't want you in the Inner Circle. We don't like you. We don't want you in the Inner Circle." And then Jericho was like, "Wait, hold up. Let's think about this." So you have two members of the Inner Circle that don't want MJF part of it. So you have two more that are going to be like, let's see. And then you had Jericho who's probably going to be all for it. So you're probably looking at the breakup of the Inner Circle here. which is fine with me. It's fine. It could be interesting. So Ortiz does not want MJF in there, but Jericho said he's willing to talk to him, and they're going to have a steak dinner. And I forget what they called it. They had a fancy French sounding name for it. It was terrible. But they're going to have a steak dinner, just Jericho and MJF, and that's going to be next week on Dynamite. Okay, whatever. That was a flop. Now the next segment was actually pretty good, and I'm surprised. I really enjoy the Britt Baker Tony Schiavone relationship. I love it. They do really good together. Britt Baker has found her voice with this character, and she's found a perfect foil with Tony Schiavone. And he went to the spa with her, and they were getting foot massages and facials and all this type of stuff. She got on his case about not being there when she made her triumphant return. And Tony Schiavone had an excuse. He got kicked in the face by the Young Bucks. And she was like, I got kicked in the face and I was still there. It was pretty good. Like, it was funny. You know, they did some really funny stuff. You know, and Tony Schiavone is having fun. You know, he's getting his chest waxed. He's having fun. And I'm 100% okay with that. You know, as much as I want to shit on, you know, AEW, Tony Schiavone is having fun. And he wasn't even in the business 2 years ago. You know, Tony Schiavone wasn't even in wrestling. And now he's doing comedy stuff with Britt Baker and killing it. 100% cool with it, dog. You're not going to get a complaint out of me. So then you had this Orange Cassidy versus Cody. My God, I want this 20 minutes of my life back. Cody fucked off for 20 minutes. He stretched this match to 20 minutes. There's no reason this match should have been 20 minutes. Whatever the time limit is, it was a time limit draw. And I think the time limit for the TNT title is 20 minutes. So Darby Allin was watching because he's apparently going to challenge for the title at Full Gear, which is fine, except is there a ranking system for the TNT title? Because it just seems like people just randomly get title shots. You know, it's just like he didn't have to win a match to get a TNT title match. He just got, Darby Allin's going to be fighting for the title at Full Gear. It's like, okay, all right, okay, whatever. You ain't got to earn it. Okay, there's no ranking system, no number one contenders match, nothing like that. Okay, but this match was again long and drawn out for no reason. Cody dyed his hair blonde again. I don't get what he's doing. I don't know what he's trying to do. Cody on Twitter was talking about his desire to get Orange Cassidy to lock up, and he was going to force Orange Cassidy to lock up. So like the first 3 or 4 minutes of this match was basically that. Him trying to get Orange Cassidy to do a collar and elbow. And then he finally got it, and then the fans chanted, he locked up. He locked up. And I wanted to turn my TV off. I really did. I was burnt out. Like, right there, I was like, man, this is going to be a long night. It's going to be a long night. And I didn't even know it was going to be go to full time limit. I didn't know it was going to go to full time limit until they announced 5 minutes left. And I was like, oh, shit. It's going to go to time limit draw. Now, Cody did some amateur stuff, which could have been fine because Cody's, I think, has a legit amateur background. But instead of going with that, OC put his hands in his pockets. You know, he showed some. Orange Cassidy's offense was very clunky. He was doing bad lucha libre, which means he was doing a lot of bad lucha libre rolls and magistral cradles and all this type of stuff. He was fucking them up. There was some outside the ring bullshit with the Dork Order. It was when Cody, like, they was trying to tell this story about Cody still being hurt from the beating that he had from the match with Brody Lee, which is fine, except, you know, he started fucking off in the middle of the match doing push-ups. He's supposed to be a babyface. He's a babyface fighting a babyface. He's doing push-ups in the middle of the match. He's supposed to have an injured neck. And now he's doing reverse suplexes from the top rope, falling on his back of his own head. Psychology, where are you? What? Like, Cody is really good, usually. His psychology is really good, usually. He's working down to the level of his opponents. And this match basically just ended up as a disqualification, and then but as a time limit draw. But what the worst thing about this match is looking at the size difference. Is that I didn't had no idea Orange Cassidy was that small. He is really, really small compared to Cody. And Cody is not a giant by any means. He's not even as big as his brother. His brother's like 6'6". So maybe Cody is 6'1", maybe 6'2" at the most. But Orange Cassidy just looked like a child next to him. It was embarrassing. I would be embarrassed I couldn't beat somebody half my size. So then Moxley attacked Archer in the back. He threw like 4 punches or whatever. Whatever. Yawn. We already know. You're tough, guys. We get it. Matt Hardy and his family were in attendance. Ribby is okay. The boy's looking strong. Then you started getting this vignette of all of these pictures of Matt Hardy. And then somebody started setting the pictures on fire. And we were like, oh my God, this could be somebody new. This could be somebody fresh as Sammy Guevara. Because apparently the feud between Sammy Guevara and Matt Hardy is not over. Because Matt Hardy made the fatal mistake of saying, I'm 100%, even though he said there was nothing wrong with him before. But him saying, I'm 100%, I'm ready to get back. And now Sammy Guevara says, it's not over until he sends Matt home for good. It's not over until he says it's over. Because Matt beat him in the last man standing match. And he didn't like that. So we got the feud that never ends. It goes on and on, my friends. So then they out of nowhere, they came up with this fatal 4-way match. It was a tumbler in the ring. They were going to pick 4 teams, and the 4 teams had to fight each other on the October 21st episode of Dynamite. And that was the number 1 contenders match for the tag team titles. So the 4 teams picked were Private Party, the Dork Odor, Silver and Reynolds, Butcher and the Blade, and the Young Bucks. Then they came out and had the worst brawl I've seen outside of a schoolyard in my entire life. It was literally garbage. It was literally garbage. It looked bad. It was horrible. And everybody should be embarrassed for having been a part of it. Legit. It was very unprofessional. It was very unprofessional. And I don't mean unprofessional as in people were doing things that they shouldn't have been doing. Shooting on people and shit like that. No. I mean, it's unprofessional as in it looked like nobody took it seriously. And how could you? Because the Young Bucks started a fight. They're fucking 5'8" apiece. And they started a fight. Fuck you. Then we had Hikaru Shida waste our time with Big Swole. Blah. I didn't even watch that match. It played while I did other things. So it was on and I heard like commentary, but I probably saw nothing. I didn't see anything. Then they played a vignette for Shawn Spears talking about why he's been following around Scorpio Sky like we give a fuck. Who the fuck cares? Fuck Shawn Spears. I can't believe he's still around. But he said Scorpio Sky owes him a moment. I don't know what that means. I know he probably explained it. I didn't bother to rewind it to find out why. I don't care. Fuck Shawn Spears. I don't care. I don't care if he's the king of AEW Dark. I don't watch this shit. And if I do watch, I just watch the people I want to see. So then Eddie Kingston came out to do commentary for the world title match between Jon Moxley and Lance Archer. They told the story of Eddie Kingston knowing Jon Moxley a long time, so he known him since 2009, and Jon Moxley left them behind. They're the left behind. He said Moxley was supposed to take him to the land of sports entertainers, was supposed to take him, and he didn't. He left him behind. Okay. That's cool. It's a cool story, I guess. Jon Moxley and Lance Archer suck. I didn't like their matches in Japan. I thought they were boring. I thought this was boring too. This match was slow. It was plotting. Archer is what? He's 40 what? 3, 44. Now look, I'm not saying that everybody's got to work at a breakneck pace. That's I absolutely don't want that. You know, I prefer it slower. But these guys didn't do anything. They barely did anything in this match. It was stupid. It was a stupid, dumbass match. It was it's just a bad match. They did a paradigm shift through 2 tables from the ring apron. Of course, it wasn't the finish. That would be logical. You can't have logic. That sucks. Logic sucks. Then he rolled him back in the ring, pinned him, tried to pin him. Because this match, no disqualification, right? The only match that they could possibly have. Heaven forbid they would actually have to have a wrestling match for a wrestling championship. No, it's got to be no disqualification. Every fucking Jon Moxley match might as well be no disqualification. And so let me go back to what I had to say. Okay. He put him through this table with the paradigm shift. Boom. Nothing. Rolled him in the ring, pinned him 1, 2, kick out. No, I think he got up, he hit him with another paradigm shift. He hit him with 2. 1, 2, kick out. Put him in the bulldog choke. He stood up in the bulldog choke, killed both of his finishers, burnt both of his finishers and tables. So you think, oh, Lance Archer is the guy. He might win. Nah. Lance Archer hits his finish a little bit later, which is called the blackout. 1, 2, Moxley kicks out and then crucifixes Lance Archer for the 3 count. They wrestled a garbage ass, no disqualification match just to give us a cheap victory from Jon Moxley. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. So after the match, Archer, of course, is angry because he lost. He wants to get his heat back. He starts beating up on Moxley. Eddie Kingston sends Phoenix down there to help. He just says go down there and help him, but he doesn't say help who. Phoenix hits Lance Archer in the back with a chair. Lance Archer turns around, sees Phoenix and Pentagon and Eddie Kingston there, and he thinks twice about continuing this course of action. He decides to bail. Good heel move. So then Eddie Kingston started blowing smoke up Moxley's ass, talking about how much he's proud of him, how great he is. How he's the best wrestler in the world. He's been carrying the company on his back. A bunch of shit. Said he was going to shake his, he's going to raise his hand, and that's one of his best friends, and all that type of stuff. And we've known each other a long time. Was out on the road together. And of course, they jumped him. The 3 of them beat him up. I don't know where this is going. Where is this going? Eddie Kingston beating up Jon Moxley is going where? Another Kingston-Moxley match? Okay. Surely Eddie Kingston is not going to win the title. So where are we going with this? It's clear, at least to me, that you want to go with Omega and Moxley for the title. Common sense. The most common of sense. So why are we wasting our time with Eddie Kingston again? I guess he has to do something until we get there, because Kenny Omega has yet to win that tournament. But then also I have to ask the question, if the finals of the Full Gear is going to be at the tournament, is the title match also at the tournament? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. But I can tell you for sure, this Eddie Kingston thing it's cool. I like Eddie Kingston. He's good at talking. He can sell me on the idea that him and Moxley are old friends, and that Moxley turned on him or abandoned him. I can buy that storyline. It's not out of the realm of possibility. Eddie Kingston seems like the kind of guy Jon Moxley might hang around with. They seem to have a natural interest in deathmatch shit and indie wrestling shit and all that type of stuff. So it seems like a natural marriage, but this was a rotten show. It was not good. It was a lot of the work was clunky, especially in the Orange Cassidy match because you're trying to get Orange Cassidy to actually wrestle and not basically lean too heavily on the gimmick. Cody wants to be extravagant as usual, over the top, pushing people to their limits, which is fine, I guess. I guess it's good for leadership, team building. But I don't get it. I don't get why this show was so bad. The Jericho segment was so disappointing. But they're trying to draw these things out because they have a pay per view to sell in a couple of weeks. So it is what it is. But also, and I was gonna probably end this video without saying this. But what the fuck do you do with Lance Archer now? He's lost to both of the champions. What do you do with him now? He's in the Brian Cage situation where you built this guy up to be a killer, a monster, and he lost. It's a similar situation with WWE went through with Braun Strowman. Except for, there's no second brand to send him to, So what are you going to do, send Lance Archer home for a couple of weeks? And then he comes back, you have to rehab that? They keep trying to protect these guys and only make them look worse. That's the problem. They keep trying to protect them. Lance Archer would have looked just fine if he'd have cut that paradigm shift through two tables and got pinned. Everybody would have been like, man, those dudes. It's hard to see anybody, a monster, not get paradigm shift through two tables and still be able to get up. This dude buried both of Moxley's finishers and got beat by a roll up. And I'm not one to throw around the word buried. He wasn't buried, that's for sure. But he did get made to look stupid as fuck. He got made to look stupid as hell because he got beat by a roll up, a wrestling hold. And it wasn't like that was part of the story, that occasionally Moxley might break out a wrestling hold and beat a guy. It was like, no, these two guys want to fight. They are fighters. They'll fight each other. And it's like, okay. And then ultimately they gave me a fucking SummerSlam 2020 finish. Look, I ain't mad at you. AEW, do your thing. But I don't know what you do with Lance Archer now. Send his ass back to Japan. Put him in a box. Slap New Japan on a postage and ship his ass back to Okinawa or whatever the fuck he was hanging out at. And save us some time. I don't dislike Lance Archer, but, apparently these guys need to learn how to protect themselves. And look, I get it. If you can't lose to the champ, who can you lose to? I get that. But get the fuck out of here. That's it, man. Thank you guys for listening. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Always gonna try to be honest on this channel, man. Yeah, AEW is tough. It's tough. It's easy to watch because it's 2 hours and it's mostly matches, but they do so much bad shit in so little time. It's hard. But I'll talk to you guys later.